Hi everyone, it's Sean Murphy and welcome back to my channel. We're back and it's time for In the Frame. So come on then, let's jump straight back into In the Frame, and thank you so much, before we go any further, thank you so much for the support that these videos have received over the last few weeks. It's been a great thrill to get the channel back up and running, but it is you guys who are supporting it that are really giving us the enthusiasm and the courage to do it, because it's, you know, it's time consuming, and of course, you know, we're opening ourselves up to comments and interactions and all the rest of it. Not all of them have been positive, but the vast majority have. So thank you guys. I just wanted to say that before we kick on. Also, one of the things I also wanted to say was that when you look down the analytics of our channel, actually we noticed that there's a vast big majority of people who watch these videos who actually aren't subscribed. So if you're one of those, just click the subscribe button. It's totally free, and you can click the like button, get those notifications turned on, and it costs you nothing. It's absolutely free. You get all of this content, how to play these shots. You're going to see me make a load of mistakes as well, but isn't that part of the fun? Talking of which, I'm going to switch sides on the break off, because in the last few weeks I haven't had the greatest success with the break off. I like to break off from this side, with left hand side, hit that red round the house. But I'm actually going to try and play down the other side. I'm going to use this cue ball here, use the spotted cue ball to try and show spins and stuff when I'm in play. But I'm going to put this here just as a guide for you guys watching. I'm going to use this on certain shots, not every shot. But let's just take the break off as an example. When I'm breaking off, I'm trying to get the cue ball there, round off the end red, underneath the blue, back to this cushion and to there. Now on these tournament standard tables, this is the same cloth that we use in tournaments, they're the same balls. To get the cue ball here, I have to hit this cushion way down here. When you're playing in the club or your table at home, you can probably afford to hit this cushion a bit further near this baulk line, because the angle will be what we call a bit squarer. Instead of the cue ball coming here, it might come over here. And they're shots that simply, you know, they're very hard to recreate on these tables. So I'm just putting that there as a visual. You know, you see players breaking off and sometimes they end up behind the green and the crowd applaud and they cheer. They've not meant to do that. All the players are playing to get the cue ball either behind the green on the cushion or behind the yellow, again on the cushion, depending on which side they choose to go. So just as a visual, that's what I'm aiming for. Let's see how close we can get. End red, and I'm putting as much right-hand side on this cue ball as I can possibly put. I'm hitting it just below the middle and hopefully round off the angles back to where that cue ball is. Here it comes. You can see the spin that's still on there. I've hit the cushion there, but you can see that's what we call slide. That hit that cushion there. And I think on maybe your table, a table in a club, maybe a table at home where the cloth's a bit older, I think that might have come over here. It might have even come in here. I see some shots on TikTok with recreations of shots from around the world that simply aren't possible on a tournament specification table. So I was aiming for here. I actually finished there. And because of that, I've left the long red for my opponent, which happens to be me. So I'm going to step in. These are the types of long pots that players play all the time. Certainly at a professional standard, we're practicing this kind of shot all the time. And in my mind's eye, I'm going to try and pot the red. The cue ball will take care of itself. And I'm playing it round, you know, my next colour wants to be one of these three. But I don't really want it to finish in baulk, because the pot to the middle is a lot more difficult than a pot to a corner. I also don't want to butcher it and leave the cue ball down here, because these mid-distance reds are just too easy for my opponents to leave. So, first things first, let's try and pot this red and bring the cue ball back up towards a baulk colour. Well, we didn't get the red, but thankfully we missed it on what you would class as the pro side, which is thin, and that's brought the cue ball back up the table. That's absolutely fine. And now we're into a bout of safety. Isn't it nice when you can just pop that first red and crack on? Anyway, I'm going to play the safety shot off the red, 2 from the pink. My concern here is this red at the base, because I can see this red here is going to hit into this one, that's stuck to this one, which is stuck to that one, and that's going to hit that one half ball. That will send it to this pocket somewhere. Now, if I wanted to protect against that, I could play this shot. I could play this red here, very thin, clip it back into the reds, and bring the cue ball back home. But for the benefit of you guys watching, because I want to try and, you know, over the course of this series of videos, I want you to try and understand and see what happens with the safety part of the game as well. This isn't all about potting and break building. I want you to understand that when you play what we class as the aggressive safety, which this would be, you're taking a massive, massive risk. So when you walk straight to the table, your opponent's left you here, and you just get down automatically and play that red by the pink. Yes, it looks like the standard shot to play, but it is fraught with danger. If you play the thin clip off the red that's loose and tuck that back into the reds and bring the cue ball back up the table, there's no risk attached to that. Even if you miss the red altogether and leave the cue ball here, zero risk. But the higher standard you get, the better player you become. You start thinking about trying to get your opponent in trouble and open the balls. I see lots of pros do this. Lots of professionals, rookies, new players on the tour, and even some players who have been on the tour for a long time and frankly should know better, play this type of shot all the time. And I've spent the last few years commentating. I see this all the time. You see players playing shots, and even when they get the cue ball back to the cushion, which is their intended target, they think, oh, it's a great shot, and they see a red end up over a corner pocket, and they feel like they've been unlucky. It's not unlucky. It's just not the right shot. However, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to play it. But remember, I've already mentioned the red 5 balls away from the one I'm going to play. That's the one I'm worried about. The red at the edge of the pack, at the back of the pack, I think will end up going towards or close to that corner. Let's see what happens. I'm going to play the red quarter ball back to baulk. And that time, I was what I think I'm going to class as fortunate, because the red starts the little chain reaction, doesn't it? Hits the red next door, that hits the next red, that hits the next red, and that did send that red that I did mention out towards the corner pocket. But it had so much momentum in it that it went on the side cushion and back out to behind the black. On another day, that might have gone over the corner pocket. So just be mindful, when you start moving balls around the table, you don't really know where they're going to finish. It's much better if you can just play the loose reds that are in the middle of the table. It's much more controllable. With that in mind, this time I'm going to play this red. I'm going to overcut it to the side cushion. That's going to come off the cushion, back in towards those 2 reds by the black, and the cue ball naturally will go between those 2 reds, up there, just in here on the side cushion, and that will lead me back into this space up here, which is quite safe. Don't need any side on this shot. This is, again, just a bit thinner than quarter ball. Not too complicated, this one. I've caught it a little bit thick. The cue ball's much closer to the yellow than I wanted. Thankfully, it didn't hit the yellow. And if this were a match, I'd be very, very happy with that situation. I've left my opponent in a position where, you know, they could go for that red there if they wanted to. If they were totally insane, they could play that red. I'm not going to play it. And if I'm not playing it, then you know it must be the wrong shot. I do like to go for my shots. And so it's left me in a situation like a few shots before. I'm going to play what we class as the aggressive safety. The red underneath the pink, 2 from the pink. I'll just come around and point it out for you. This is the red that I'm going to play. But all of these reds here are going to move. I've got absolutely no idea where they're going to go. So I'm hoping to get a good cue ball. I don't know where the reds are going to finish. I can see that this red will hit this one, which will hit this one, and that one will probably move the black. Don't really want that to happen because you want to keep the black in play. It's unavoidable. Got no idea where these reds are going to finish, and that's the craziness of this shot. Let's play it. Let's see what happens. I've got no idea where these balls are going to go. It did hit the black. Thankfully, one hasn't gone over a corner pocket. And you know what? That's not too bad. As I say, you play those shots, they look skillful. Don't be sucked into thinking that the professionals are playing these shots controlling where 8 reds are going to finish, because they're not. You know, we're good, but we're not that good. And you play those safety shots with no real concept of where the reds are going to finish. If I'd missed the green, I'd be in a lot of trouble here. But I'm in a bit of trouble anyway. Now, what I'm going to do, because we could be here all day playing safe, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and push the game on. I'm going to play the shot that I would play in a match situation now, which is to try and pop the long red to the left corner pocket. I would try and stun. It's more of a screw shot really, but it turns into a stun shot, because by the time the cue ball gets from here to here, so it's lost some of its backspin. And the cue ball hopefully will go from that red into this red, knock that out of the way, and leave me on the black into the same pocket as this red. I'm starting to regret committing to this shot, if I'm totally honest. Let's just make sure I'm happy with that. Yeah, pop that red to the corner, stun into the red next door, and leave the black for the same pocket. Nice and low on the cue ball. As I say, it's more of a screw shot that turns into a stun shot. Keep everything still. Oh, that was very, very close. And because I missed it thick, I hit too much of the red. So the cue ball retained a lot more spin and actually went through that gap, missed the red on the top side. But I have now obviously thrown my opponent, me, back into the reds. Let's see how many I can make from this position. The reds are really well spread, aren't they? You come to the table and you just assess them. There's nothing here that's particularly complicated, except this first shot, I have to say. There's no clusters of reds, there's no packs, there's no reds stuck to side cushions. That's in a slightly awkward place, and this is in a slightly awkward place, but that's 2 reds out of 15. By the time you get there, you might have scored enough to have this frame in the bag, so I'm not that bothered about those. And I'm wondering, the devil on my shoulder has already whispered the words 147 in my ear. Can you hear it? I can hear it. Yeah, there it is. So I'm already thinking, can I get to the black? Well, I'm going to have to pop this red and screw back into this red really gently and hope that I stay for position on the black. The problem with this shot is I'm going to pop the red, but I might not get the positional side. And you take that risk, don't you, if you come to the table? Because I can pop the red and screw through this gap, no problem, and come out for the blue. I can do that, that's fine. But if I pop the red to the left half of the pocket as I see it, that will alter the path of the cue ball. Instead of the cue ball coming back in a dead straight line through this gap, it will come back at the angle the red goes in the pocket, and it will come back and hit this red. But I don't know what's going to happen to the cue ball after that, and I can't leave it alone. I can't leave the chance for the 147 staring me in the face. So I'm going to play the little gentle screw into this red and pray that I'm on the black. Oh, it's on. Oh, I'm delighted with that shot. Now, where do we go from here? I said nothing was particularly complex. I might have told a small lie. How do we get to the next red? Well, these 2 are a plant. I can make a plant out of those 2 into that corner. I can drop the cue ball into here, but that's congested. This red's causing me all the problems. If that red wasn't there, I'd just drop the cue ball into this gap and play for one of these 2 reds. But it is there, and it's there as a blocker. All those other reds are in really nice positions, but they're all in each other's way, aren't they? What should we play here? I'm going to play to pop the black, and I'm going to play a little cannon on this red. Now, in an ideal world, I would hit the cushion first and cannon the red from behind and knock it up the table. That would leave me on one of these 2 reds. What's probably going to happen as I'm striking down on it, I'm going to get more spin than I want. What's probably going to happen is that instead of the cue ball hitting the cushion first and then the red, I'll probably hit the red on its way. Now that's going to leave me on one of these two reds as well. But, you know, I'd prefer to hit the red from behind. Let's just try not to destroy the microphone. Yeah, you could see striking down there altered the path of the cue ball. But that's worked out really well. Really happy with that. What that has done is it's nudged that red. It's now totally blocking access for that red. And because of that, I might play that red now. Think about if I were to make an attempt at a 1-4-7 here or a frame winning break, and I leave these two reds till later, get into this red, get into the part of the table where I can actually access the potting point for this red. That's going to be quite complex. It's going to be very difficult as I try and navigate this table to end up there again. And by accident, I'm there now. So this is a really good tip. For those of you that perhaps are at a 20 to 40 break standard, 50 maybe, 60 breaks, as you're trying to improve your game and take your game to the next level, whatever that next level is for you, only you can decide that. But if it's about trying to score more points more often, then it's good to be aware and have that awareness that sometimes you have to play the slightly more difficult shot a little bit earlier than you might want to make the rest of the break as straightforward as you can. So let me see if I can just pop that red and just drop it in. As I say, this is the easier red, but I'm just going to drop this one in and play out for the black. I'm on the black, and you can see that's now freed this red. And we're in the situation that I mentioned a moment ago when I played the black and I cannoned the middle red. I said if that red wasn't there, this would be a really good opportunity. Well, we've moved that red to there and we've got the one behind it out of the way now. So if I can pop this black and find my angle on the next red, this could very quickly develop into an excellent chance for that magical 1-4-7. These two are a plant, as we've already mentioned, but I'm actually going to pop the black, play a little soft screw shot into this red, nudge it out of the way, and leave me position for this red nearest the cue ball. Just low on the cue ball, but gently, just introduce the cue ball to that red. That's perfect. I do like to use that term introduce, because sometimes you're not looking for that really hard cannon. You don't have to whack it. Sometimes you just need to caress the cue ball. It just needs to hit it in any way. Now, I'm going to just pop this red nice and straightforward, leave the cue ball straight on the black or just high, so I can play for the red underneath. And if this were a frame now, I would only have one thing on my mind, and that is the 1-4-7. Just drop the cue ball in again for the red next door. And already, I can't help but think about it. At what stage am I going to try and sort these two out? Because this is a definite maximum chance now. This is a definite 1-4-7 chance. Are these two reds? How am I going to get to them? They're going to cause me the problems. They should be the only problems here that stop me on my journey for a 1-4-7. Pop the red around the cushions. And depending on the angle on the black, I can play for either the red behind the black, or I'm going to, because I'm perfectly straight on the black, I'm just going to play the screw off the cushion and out here for this red. What I mustn't do here, and sometimes this is a really good thing to install into your game. Sometimes it's all right thinking about all of the things that you want to try to achieve. And of course, from a positivity point of view, you always want to be focusing on what you can do, what you're attempting to try. But you must be aware of the mistakes that you mustn't make. So in this shot, what I mustn't do is overscrew the cue ball and come past this red. because if I go past it, if I finish there, let me just get the other cue ball out for demonstration purposes. If I screw the cue ball on and off the cushion and it finishes there, it's break over. And this talk of 147s winning the frame at one visit has gone. So you've just got to be aware of that. You don't want to focus on it. You want to focus on what you're trying to achieve. Always keep that positive mindset. This is what I'm trying to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. But it's okay to be aware of it, just to have it in the corner of your mind that actually being a little bit short on the next red here in this particular case is much better than being slightly long. If I'm too long, we're out. So that said, pop the black, screw on and off the cushion, and I'm just in my mind's eye thinking, don't go too far. Now, because of that, I have underhit the cue ball. I've underhit it quite badly, in fact, if I'm being totally honest. I wanted this cue ball out here. I'm 3 or 4 inches, maybe 5 inches short from where I wanted to be. But that's better than being 1 inch too far. I can still pop this red. I am going to brush this red on the way past. I don't even mind if I miss the cannon on it. The cue ball drifts through to here. It's still okay. And as I keep saying, but it's important to make the point, it's better to be here than be there. So I'm just going to drop this red in. I'm not sure whether I'm going to hit that red or not as the cue ball goes through the table, but I don't really mind. It doesn't matter whether the cue ball hits it or not. Yeah, it didn't, and that's absolutely fine. We're still in good position. The 147 is still on. Put your seatbelt on, strap in, get your helmet on. This could get fun. Pop the next black. I'm going to stun off the cushion between this gap and back up here. My next red is hopefully going to be this red into the same pocket as the black. But again, being aware. You see so many 147 chances break down on this mistake. It's not just potting the black. I've got to get in the correct position on the next red so I can get back for the black. That's what we call being high. And what that means is that if you imagine a line from the pocket through the red out to here, to get the angle to get on the red to get back for the black next time, I must be higher up the table than the line. If I finish down here, it's no good. So a bit like the previous black, what I do know in the back of my mind is the thing to avoid is finishing short. If I finish down here, obviously the break carries on, but we cannot get to the black and the 147 dream dies. So pot the black and make sure you're high, not too high, but higher on the next red so you can get back for the black. Little bit of right hand side on this, nice stun shot. And that's absolutely perfect on the next red. Now, how many reds is that? That's 4 in that pocket. And there's 1 in there, so that's 5. 5 8s are, well done, 40. So we can all move on. Thought we were going to fall out there about the score. Now, that red on the cushion is just slightly in the way of playing the natural on and off the cushion shot back out for the black. I can play to miss it on the way through, or I can even play off 2 cushions out for the black. That's what I'm going to play. Need a little bit of stun, a little bit of right hand side on this one, just around the 2 angles, back out into the table for the black. And how much of an idiot do I feel? Yeah, quite a lot. That's very disappointing, isn't it? I'm very disappointed. You're very disappointed. We're all disappointed. But that does happen. And you can see, can't you, the temptation and the excitement for the 147 it can take over, you know, and that happens no matter what level you're at. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're searching for your first 40 break, your first 50 break, your first century break, or a 147. That excitement, that your mind wanders, you miss an elementary ball. I should never miss that. But I'm excited about trying to bring you a 147 and trying to show you how they work, that I've got a bit carried away. I'm thinking about swinging the cue ball around the angles, and I've missed the red. My hope as this channel develops and the videos keep coming is that one of the things you guys enjoy, and I've seen some comments about this in the last few weeks, is that these videos are real, they're raw. There's no, you know, let's take that shot again, cut the video, and I show you again because, you know, I want to show you a 147. There will be 147s on this channel, they're coming. But I want you to know that what you see in this room is real. It's not, there's no magic involved. There's no, oh, well, I missed that one, let's do it again. If I miss the shot, you're going to see it. I'm hopefully going to explain to you why. That one was a miss because I was just a bit excited and I was getting nervous and a bit, you know, I wanted to try and show you that, thought it would have been great to have a 147 on the channel. It wasn't to be. And that's the same, you know, in your game and my game. But let's push on, because in a match, you would have to carry on. So, 40 points on the board. You come to the table 40 points behind. And here we go. What shot would you play from here? I'm not sure. I can't hit this red. The black's in the way. I'm going to try and pot the red to the yellow pocket. I could play safe, but I'm going to try and pot it. That was very, very close. I struck that one really well. I hit that a lot better than I hit the previous one, I can tell you. That annoyance for missing that red on 40 will live with me for a while, but I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. Don't think you have to check in. I'll be okay. Okay, I'm going to try and pot this red and screw back for the blue. Thought I hit that one well as well. That didn't go in. Remember that, not all good shots go in. Sometimes you can hit a ball really nicely. You still miss it, but you know, you got very, very close. You did everything right. This time, obviously the obvious red to play is this one. I'm actually going to play this red here because I can pot the red and run through nicely for the black. I can play this red, but the cue ball's going to be doing a lot more miles. The black doesn't go into that pocket. The pink's not available. The cue ball would have to track all the way up and back to the table. Then I'd have to come all the way back again. Where I can play the more difficult red, but as long as I pot it, I'll be on the black. I know, I've already missed an easier shot than this. I know. Why didn't I do that before? Oh, well. Okay, so we just drop the black in for the red that's blocking the pocket. And I'm just trying to work out now whose visit this would be, because one player A already scored 40. So I missed the red on the maxi, that was 40. Then player B missed the red to the other pocket. Player A stepped in again and missed the red to that pocket. So this is player B. I'm now playing the role of the player who's chasing the 40-point deficit. So remember, player A scored 40, player B is now on 8. Play this cue ball around the angles for the black. And that's nice. I'm just going to pop the black and stun in behind the red for the corner pocket this time. That's nice as well. A little bit more angle on this red than I would like in an ideal world. But in my mind, I'm already thinking about the potential clearance. These balls, they're all kind of in each other's way. I feel as if I could get one of them out of the way, or get this one out of the way, that would free the path for this one. That in turn would free the path for this one, which in turn frees the path for this one, which makes this one potable as well. So there's a sequence that needs to happen there. That's a problem for in a minute. And then This one here is also very awkward, being close to the cushion. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to play for position on this red, knowing that we had that one over the middle pocket waiting for us if the position goes wrong over here? It's always good to have that reserve red, that insurance red waiting for you. So I've got that. I'm going to leave that red there as long as I possibly can. Don't want to use that unless I have to. What I want to do here is drop the red in. I want to leave the angle on the black about there so I can pop the black, cannon that red, which leaves me this one, and then that sequence can start taking care of itself. Just drop this red in to start. Yeah, that's nice. Soft little cannon into that red underneath the pink spot will leave me choice of reds to the right-hand corner pocket. If I do miss the cannon, I've got this one waiting for me as my saviour. Nice little cannon, little stun shot. And it would be very hard for me to have picked the cue ball up with my hand and put it in a better spot than that. Now, that's 24. I'm starting to get into the lead, starting to reduce the deficit. That's the word I was looking for. 25. And now I'm going to pop the black, a little stun shot, just a hint of left-hand side to bring the cue ball back through this gap of these two reds for this red into the same pocket as the black. Not too complicated. Why is it every time I say that something's not too complicated, do I then miss it? There's probably something in that, isn't there? Okay, well, it does happen. You miss balls. That's the nature of the sport. We move on. Missed another one. Come to the table. Had 40 earlier on. I've got a 16-point advantage. Pop the red up and down the table for the pink or the blue. And I say the pink because that means I can get to the red that's next door to it. Pink spot's occupied, so when I pot it, it will be going on the black spot. The two reds that are in and around the pink spot are pottable to this corner pocket. As I say, can't get the pink on its spot, so it goes on the black spot. We can just drop this red through nicely for the pink. Nice angle on the pink this time, just to play on and off the cushion. Back for the choice of reds. So that's 14. Added to the 16 advantage I had already, that's 30. And so if I were in this position now, you know, I wouldn't be thinking about that red at all. That red's staying over there. Because if I do miss, and I've missed enough, there is a miss in there. If I do miss, then I want the clearance, the counter clearance from my opponent to be as hard as it possibly can. So I'm 30 points ahead here now. Pop this red on and off the cushion for the pink. I'm keeping the pink spot occupied, which means that the pink will stay on the black spot. That's 31. Pop this pink, stun up again for the red into the corner. That puts me 37 in front. I can't get to the pink or the black this time, so I'm just going to pop this red and stun up past the blue. Really want to just be high on the blue. That's 38 in front. That's perfect. And now, I'll just have a think. So that's 38 in front. Blue will put me 43 in front with 43 points on the table. So it'd be great to, off the next red, be possible to take the highest colour that I possibly can with it, just to make it that much harder for my opponent should I make a mistake. There's no point here potting the blue to go 43 ahead with 43 on, stunning the cue ball down here, because then I have to pot the red and play for a baulk colour. That means my opponent, if they were to get the chance, they only need the one snooker. This is where you have to be smart. So if I can hold the cue ball on an angle for the next red to pot the red and play either for the black or the pink, that's going to put me in a position that if things were to go wrong, my opponent's going to come to the table and instead of needing one snooker, they're going to need two. And that's twice as hard. So, I'm just going to nip into the back of this cue ball, get as much spin on as I can, but very softly, just so it doesn't go very far. That puts me 43 ahead with 43 on. I'm now going to pop this red down for the pink. And of course I've got my maths totally wrong, I've just realised. That puts me 44 ahead now with just 35 on. So my opponent already needs 3 snookers. But it's just nice to make it as hard as you possibly can for that opponent who's sat in their chair. You know, if you were to make a mistake, you've made their job of that counter clearance very, very difficult, looking for as many snookers as they possibly can. 50 ahead now. Would love to pop this red and clear up. In it goes, perfectly on the pink to screw back for the yellow, just at the bottom of the cue ball. Keep everything still and go through it. And that cue ball screws back up the table nicely on the yellow. Got a little bit too far if we were being absolutely critical. But a nice angle, just to drop this yellow in. The cue ball will naturally come off the side cushion and back out for the green. Didn't have to do anything hard there. Of course, it's not been the hard shots that have cost me in this video, has it? It's been the easy ones. I don't think I'll ever get over that red that I missed on the 147. Well, I'll probably be over it pretty soon, actually, but it's frustrating nonetheless. But that's the hope. I really want you guys, when you watch these videos, to know that they're genuine. There's no camera trickery. You know, I'm hoping that there will be 147s at some stage. I'm sure there will be. But it wasn't to be in this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you've learned something from watching this video. Please get in touch in the comments, get stuck into them as much as you possibly can. Tell me what you'd like to see. Tell me if there's anything specific you'd like help with. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn your notifications on. And I'll see you next time.